Have you ever noticed something interesting? If you ask 10 UK recruitment agency owners today which country they prefer to outsource to, 6 out of 10 will say South Africa. Even though South Africa is usually 40 to 60% more expensive and nowhere near India in terms of depth, capability, or operational maturity. Strange, right? But here's a better question. Are UK agency leaders choosing the best destination for their business or the destination that feels less uncomfortable? Because when I look at this data, the scale, the outcomes, the capabilities, the truth looks very, very different from the perception. And today, we are going to talk about this properly. No sugarcoating, no nationalism, no my country versus your country. Just a clear, honest breakdown of why this bias exists and whether it's quietly costing UK agencies productivity, money, and the ability to scale. Now, where did this bias even come from? South Africa, fair play to them, has done an excellent PR job. Neutral accent, cultural similarity, feels Western, feels safe. Meanwhile, India still gets judged on outsourcing stories from pre-2008, as if nothing has changed since then. But during these times, last 15 years, India built something completely different. A capability engine, an operational ecosystem, a delivery powerhouse, while the perception never updated. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Indian accent, bad for phone-heavy roles. Really? Because the UK workforce is one of the most cosmopolitan workforces in the world. Walk into any office in London, Bristol, Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow. You'll meet professionals from India, Nigeria, Poland, Romania, the Philippines, South Africa, Sri Lanka, and the Caribbean, all in the client-facing roles. So, here's a question for you. If an Indian consultant with a neutral accent walked into your office in London, would you reject them purely because they are Indian? Of course not. You judge their capability, their professionalism, their communication, their fit. So, why don't we apply the same logic to outsource teams? India has a massive pool of neutral accent talent, especially in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, Gurgaon, Noida. The accent issue is a perception problem, not a capability problem. Now, let's compare capability. This is where things get very, very clear. India, over 5 million graduates every year. The world's largest English-speaking professional workforce. 20 plus years of experience supporting global recruitment agencies. Deep sourcing expertise, 180 delivery model, automation talent, data specialists, compliance teams, research analysts, accountants, and unmatched scalability. South Africa, good customer service talent, good for phone-based roles, small time difference, familiar accent, but limited graduate throughput, limited specialized capability, limited long-term scalability. South Africa is good. India is deep. And depth is what actually scales a recruitment business. Let's look at the real evidence. The largest recruitment groups in the UK have been operating from India since 2006. Hayes, Michael Page, AMS, Reed, Impelum, Acacium, Engage Group, and several others. They didn't choose India because it was cheap. They chose India because it delivers consistently, at scale, across multiple functions. If the most sophisticated recruitment companies trust India for their global delivery, it's not a coincidence. It's the data speaking. Mid-sized agencies, however, often make the decision based on comfort instead of capability. And that's the disconnect. So, let's simplify this. Don't choose a country, choose the outcome you want. If you want depth, 180 delivery model, sourcing intelligence, research, compliance, accounting, automation, data, multifunctional support, India wins every single time. If you want purely phone-based, 80% phone-based heavy roles with a familiar accent, South Africa performs well, but so does India, just with a different talent base. If you want long-term scalability, India again. This was never about India versus South Africa. It was always comfort versus capability. And here's the final twist. South Africa invested heavily in branding, in perception, in being the safe bet for the recruiting industry. India invested in education, infrastructure, delivery systems, operations, and scale. One country's industry built the billboard, the other built the engine. And sometimes leaders mistake the billboard for the engine. So, here's my real challenge to every recruitment leader listening. Before you default to South Africa, because it feels comfortable, ask yourself, if the UK workforce is one of the most diverse in the world, why am I assuming an Indian team can't deliver? Ask yourself, if I wouldn't reject an Indian consultant in my office, in my London office, why am I rejecting an Indian delivery hub? Ask yourself, am I choosing capability or choosing comfort? And most importantly, is my bias costing my business scale, depth, and margin? Because in many cases, yes, it is. If you want to explore this properly, if you're thinking about building a high-performance support function without increasing the UK headcount, if you want to increase your operating profits, just message me the word outsource. I'll share frameworks, case studies, and examples from agencies that have scaled in ways they never thought possible. I'm Ketan Gajjar. Thanks for tuning into the Recruitment Curry podcast. Keep growing, keep thriving, and carry on.